welcome to the 52nd Annual Bloomfield Christmas Tournament. We're here for the game, the second round game of the winner's bracket between the Van Buren Bulldogs and the 14th seeded Van Buren Bulldogs and the Twin Rivers Royals. I'm Terry McVeigh here with Lloyd Rice. Lloyd, you saw these teams play last night. What are we going to expect tonight?
Twin Rivers had a little bit of a coming out party, so to speak, last night. Probably shot the ball well. The big man for them this year is a new addition to the club. Kind of been trying to feel the way around how to use big guys, shifted guys back to probably a little more normal position. And Van Buren is just typical Van Buren up here, Terry. They just scrap and claw and stayed in the game. And I think Kennett turned around and saw that they were within 14 and then 8 and then 4 and then
Van Buren comes in as a 14 seed and just completely controls the game against
Absolutely. Kennett. Just stayed around and gave themselves a good opportunity to win the game and won the game because of it.
Yeah, they beat the third seeded Kennett Indians 55-47. Twin Rivers, you talk about having a coming out party. They won, I believe, it was 72-26 was the final of that game against Malden. And you're right about Zach Payne. The last few years, what Twin Rivers has pretty much a lot of interchangeable players. Everybody about the same size, and everybody can play about every position. But now you got a 6'7" guy clogging up the middle, and
a lot of 6'1", 6'2" guys that try to play forward, and it changed the whole complexity of their thing. Coach Rob there's trying to get them to feel their way around, figure out not only how to use him, but get back to normal positioning for them, especially for Oberkramer. It kind of gets to slide a 6'1" kid out of the post and into more of a forward natural position for him.
Yeah, where he can move a little bit more on the outside and then also drive the basket, which he does well.
And I tell you what they do, Terry, they really play hard. They're just the type of bunch that plays hard for Coach Brown. They'll run through that stage wall if he told them to. So this should be a fun one.
And he'll play 10 guys. Well, he'll play 12, but he'll play. He'll substitute 5 at a time.
Yeah, he doesn't care at all to get into that bench just real quick.
We'll have the starting lineups. Daniel Newberry, a 5'9" junior who's really kind of a spark plug for this team. He's a pest on defense. Nathan Daisy scored 17 last night. He's their size underneath. Tyler Freeze, a 5'8" junior. Kyle Burt, number 30, a 6'1" senior. Sledge Crawley, a 6' junior.
Those guys played hard, brought it all night to a bigger and a faster Kennett team.
Yeah, more talented Kennett team.
Right.
They controlled the tempo and controlled the game. Garrett Stockton, a 5'9" sophomore. Kyle Oberkramer. Brett Whitlock, 6'2" senior, get a starting nod. Ryan Miller, 6' junior. Zach Payne, we talked about him, the 6'7" senior. Played at Malden last year. Moved over to Twin Rivers.
Miller shoots it well. If they get out in the open floor and get to running and kind of loosen things up, that'll be how they want to go.
And Whitlock can shoot. He had a couple of threes last night. Again, when we started the game yesterday on the broadcast, we talked about how Van Buren was outsized and outquicked, and I'll say the same again. But that may not mean a whole lot as far as the outcome.
We had those very similar conversations about them last year, and that they like to play over here. They do well at it, and they always seem to play over their heads. I would start, if I was a coach, I would automatically seed them higher because of it.
Yeah, they come as a 14 seed. There's Zach Payne with a nice turnaround. And put back up by Brett Whitlock. He'll go to the line. Foul's going to be on, I believe, Newberry. Yes, Newberry his first, team first.
Whitlock, good strong rebound. way to start the game for him.
And he hits the free throw. So he starts with 3. Twin Rivers will pressure them on defense. They usually don't pressure full court, but they'll pressure half court, and they'll trap.
They do. They like to run and jump and trap and try to cause a little havoc out top.
Freeze looking underneath for Daisy, but he's not getting any room. Good defense by Older Kramer fronting up Daisy. Van Buren's ball out of bounds. It'll be kicked in by Kyle Burke.
Kyle's just a big old Oberkramer's big old strong kid. Looks like a fullback.
Yeah, for a team doesn't. They always seem to have
a lot
of football-looking players for a school that doesn't have football.
Coach Brown's got a good weight program over there.
3-pointer up by Burke. It's off. Come Oberkramer hidden, and Newberry, the smallest guy on the floor, gets the rebound, brings it up the court. Van Buren's going to pull out and set up their offense. But the ball went off of Crawley, goes back to Twin Rivers.
Right through Crawley's legs. He didn't
get down.
Didn't get too aggressive after the ball.
Stockton, sophomore, will bring it up. Over Kramer out front. Over to Whitlock. Whitlock hard to the basket.
Whitlock's aggressive. Good start for him.
Yeah, when we saw him previously, he was pretty much a jump shooter. There's 2 aggressive moves to the basket, and he has 5 points. Tyler Freeze to Newberry. Back to Freeze. He looked at the 3, but it wasn't there. Good defense by Stockton to get the baseline pass. Over to Miller. He can't get it up, but over Kramer can.
Zach Payne kept that alive, and it fell into Oberkramer's hands. Easy to finish.
Timeout on the floor with Van Buren. Twin Rivers jumped out to a good 7-0 lead with 6:03 left in the first quarter. You're watching 52nd Annual Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV. This game's brought to you by Three Rivers Community College. What do you think Coach Jessen is telling his club?
Well, they've scored every one of their buckets right there within the paint. Whitlock with 2, and then Oberkramer finishing there. And, it's the case of those bigger, longer bodies, and if you don't keep them out of that area, it's going to be a long night for you.
Yeah, and they're, and just look at him on the floor. They just, Daisy, number 15, is the biggest guy Van Buren has, and he's 6'3", but he's not a big 6'3".
That's a tough shot to put up there on those trees. I mean, you appreciate the drive and the attempt, and
I've noticed a lot of that this year. A lot of just driving in and just throwing up and hoping to get the offensive rebound.
Kind of sling it up there, and we'll go get it later.
Zach Payne with a nice turnaround.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to defend. He guarded him about as well as he could.
You got 6'7" against 6'2", 6'3", and if Payne can do that offensively, that's going to pay off real well in the long run for Twin Rivers.
That does. That's going to make them real good when and if he hits shots like that.
Fouls on Stockton out front. His first, team's first.
Caught reaching in.
It's like a foul on Daisy, clearing himself out of pain on the inbound pass. Nathan Daisy picks up his first. Van Buren's going to try pressuring Twin Rivers. So it looks like it's going to be man-to-man. Kyle Burke hustling over, knocked the ball out of bounds. Twin Rivers are triggered in. Brett Whitlock will trigger it. Get it out front to Stockton. Stockton to Miller. Stockton from the wing, it won't go. Zach Payne with the rebound. Nice turnaround jump, it's short. Payne again, hustling for the rebound. Puts it over to Whitlock, and a charging foul on Whitlock. Good defense on the part of, looks like,
That was really slick defensive play because that thing developed in about 2 seconds, and he just put himself in the right position.
9-0 in favor of the Twin Rivers Royals with about 4:45 left in the first quarter. There's a steal.
Oh, good steal by Ryan to the hole.
Freeze got tangled in the net. No goaltend. Freeze will bring it down. He'll drive the lane. Kick
Probably
it out the front Daisy, and he won't get it to go. Daisy hit a couple of threes yesterday.
Right. He's capable of hitting, and he will take that shot.
Whitlock can't go with Oberkramer's there.
Yeah, Oberkramer standing all alone over there. Probably by rule, Terry, I'm going to say that was a goaltend.
I thought it was. I was going to ask you.
He was up and in the net and shook it pretty hard. You gotta go ahead and ring. Nobody wants to, but well.
Tyler Freeze finally puts Van Buren on the board with the 3.
That was a long 3.
Yes, it was. Oberkramer underneath. He must have passed Daisy, and Daisy can't stop him. Once you let him get to the baseline, you're either going to foul him or they're going to make it. And Oberkramer's strong enough.
That's what I was going to say. As big and strong as he is, he would have literally had to take him to the floor, which would have been a chore too. So it's a tough foul, second foul to pick up halfway through the first quarter on him. That's
really the only size they have underneath.
Right.
Oberkramer makes the free throw, makes it a 13-3 game. So Daisy has to take a seat on the bench. He's replaced by Corey Kennedy. Feed into Kennedy.
Good feed. Zach Payne. See, that's just a good block. Zach's doing a good job.
Oberkramer pulls, stops. Nice touch. He has 9 in the quarter. And that's one of the things, having a 6'7" guy like Payne back there.
Right.
The defense can take chances because there's somebody back there to clean
Exactly. Can run out against these quick guys.
Nice rebound.
And know that that's back there.
There's another Oberkramer.
That's the little brother.
Can't get it go.
Big rebound. Payne
will go to the line. Now Mason Oberkramer's in the game.
Mason usually starts for him. I'm not sure why the change tonight. I think he's a sophomore. And
he didn't start last night. Payne makes the first. Michael Duncan in the game for give Freeze a breather. In and out, won't go, and rebound pulled out. But Sam Simmons is now in the game for Van Buren. Duncan will bring it down. He'll be picked up by Miller. Mason Oberkramer's still. He goes up, and Newberry with a nice defense, getting back hustle.
Yeah, good hustle play. Both ways. Mason tipped it and broke loose, and that was a good hustle play. Newberry's
somebody that's a pest.
Newberry, we called his name and number several times last year. You're right. He's just pesty. Just enough of a mess.
I got him listed at 5'9", and I think
that's being pretty generous.
There's Whitlock from the corner. It's off. But Oberkramer gets it out, but Duncan brings it down the court. Back to Freeze. He stops, can't get it to go. Mason Oberkramer down.
Good outlet. Oh.
And that's a little hard foul. That foul will be on Corey Kennedy. Sure wasn't a touch foul, was it?
No, he made sure he got his money's worth on it for sure. Of course, there again, Terry, if you're going to foul them on the shot with the looks of some of those bodies, you better make sure you get a pretty good lick on them because.
Yeah, you're not going to bother them.
No, they're solid.
Just by a little touch in the back. Miller misses the first. And hits the second. He's 1 for 2 from the line, has 1 point in the quarter. 2:19 left in the first quarter. It's an 18-3 Twin Rivers game. The only points, there's a touch foul out front by Whitlock. He got both hands on him.
Put his hands on him. Didn't
Yeah.
want him going there.
Whitlock second. He'll come out of the game, be replaced by Dustin Tinsley.
That's an absolute in a college game, Terry. When two hands go on that dribbler, no matter the amount of contact, it's you've got to bing it immediately.
There's Michael Duncan with the
good weak side board.
And that's
Stick
kind of a thing this year, or is it pretty recent, that two hands
yes,
is
yeah,
automatic?
they call it an absolute and automatic. They just flat out want it called. They don't. They've dealt with the hand check over the past couple seasons pretty well, and
nice move by Ryan Miller.
Ryan's a good scorer. I think he had his mind made up that he wanted to get something on the board and get himself going. That was
just a nice move underneath. Duncan.
They're being very physical offensively and defensively. They're rebounding well, and they're running to one and play. And
it won't go. Freeze with the rebound. Van Buren's wanting the run. He got 1 on 5. They ought to pull it up, and they do. Freeze drives the lane, puts it up, and is going to score.
Wow, that's a tough shot.
Real tough shot. He was fouled by Ryan Miller. We'll go to the line, shoot one. And it's good. Kyle Burke back in the game, replacing Corey Kennedy for the Bulldogs. Zach Payne back in the game, replacing Kyle Kramer.
It's probably pretty rare for a student to move in the district that not only starts, but it just allows that other bit of depth and things too. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, he just changes the tenor of the team.
Right. These guys are not going to lack for hustle on the floor. That's both ways.
Van Buren's down by 12, but they're diving for everything. 54-4 left in the 54 seconds left in the first quarter. Freeze walks it up the court. We guarded out front by Miller to Newberry. Duncan reverses his dribble, gets in a jam, gets it back out to Freeze. Freeze drives the lane, stops, pops, makes it. Tyler Freeze has really been the offense. He scored 8 of the 10 points.
Wow.
Mason Overkramer all the way down, can't get it to go. Off of Payne over to Van Buren. Well, Mason Overkramer saw the opening. He just shot through it.
He picked that up at about the half court line, it looked like. That was put his nose down and was going to the hole.
Tyler Freeze lets one go through his hand. Miller is going to be one. No, it's on the floor.
On the floor.
The foul on Tyler Freeze be his first. Team 6th. Mason Overkramer will kick it in. Back out. That's Matt Boyles. Tinsley and a kick by Van Buren. Gets the ball back to Twin Rivers with 20 seconds left on the clock. They'll set up something under their basket.
They're just about taller at every position.
Yes.
And they've taken advantage of that. They've not tried to do something that they're not good at.
No.
It's pretty much been pounded in there, and let's.
Kramer, a little wild shot on that.
A little bit wild. Not going to get bailed out.
No.
So. Whoa!
Oh, off the basket. That's good.
That's worth 4 off the glass, isn't it?
If he called it. That was Kyle Burke picking up a loose ball and throwing it up, kissing it off the glass, makes it a 20-13 game. It's back to a competitive game. And at the end of the first quarter, you're watching the 52nd annual Bloomfield Christmas Tournament. Watching the game between Van Buren and Twin Rivers. This game is being brought to you by Three Rivers Community College. We'll be back in a minute.
Three Rivers Community College is a great place.
A great place.
A great place to start college or career classes.
Three Rivers affordable tuition
Means Pell Grants go further.
I can use A+.
I got a scholarship.
To learn more, go to trcc.edu or call 877-TRY-TRCC.
Get started at TRCC.
Van Buren down by, they were down by 12, and they hit a couple of buckets, including one right at the buzzer, a three-pointer by Kyle Burke, where he heaved up and kissed it off the glass. Makes it a 7-point game. Twin Rivers gets the ball out of bounds, start the quarter. Whitlock on the wing over to Payne. Payne's going to turn around, jump shot, a little short. But there's Oberkramer to clean it up. And that's one thing, having Payne in there lets Oberkramer on the other side. He's on the weak side. And
last year, that's Oberkramer trying to muscle that shot up, and nobody over there.
Duncan for three. Oh, in and out. Stockton with the rebound.
Oh,
nice.
I saw that. Nice, nice pick.
Nice pick.
Everybody in the gym saw it coming except the guy that got picked.
And there's Brett Whitlock. He got to cleaning up on that one. Whitlock now has 7 in the game. 24-13 lead for Twin Rivers.
They're doing a really good job out of that secondary type fast break and not even really having to set up and run much offense out of it.
Nathan Daisy back in the game for Van Buren. He's been sitting down with some foul trouble. He picked up 2 quick ones in the first quarter. He's their leading scorer in the first game of this tournament. And they will need something from him in this game. Tyler Freeze has been pretty much their offense this game. He has the ball now. Kicks it out to Daisy. Daisy being guarded by Boyles. Freeze stops, pops. And Tyler Freeze is showing some offense.
Tyler can score.
Timeout, Twin Rivers. Coach has some defensive questions of his team. 6:40. So what are you going to do to freeze this guy out?
I tell you what, that if he puts on moves like that,
well, you're going to score.
You're going to score. That's a good basketball play there.
Yeah, sometimes I don't care how good your defense is, somebody's going to score against you. You just don't want to give up the easy ones. Those aren't easy shots.
No, he puts that one in your mug, and that's just
he's just going to score.
That's right. Pat him on the way. That's right.
Pat him on the back. Say good shot. Now we won't let you have it again. Be Twin Rivers ball. They're up 24-15 here in the second quarter of this second round game in the winners bracket. Nice crowd still in attendance. It's not quite as full because we don't have all the Stoddard County teams in it in this game. Last couple of games have been Stoddard County teams, and the place was packed. There's a move across the middle of Boyles. Matt Boyles has his first 2.
Matt listed as a junior. That'll be they were going to have several
a lot of seniors
to choose from coming back. It seems like Kyle Oberkramer's been playing about 6 years over there.
Well, they're kind of like Donovan with the Wilsons.
You're right.
They just kind of restock. They're going to restock Oberkramer's and Stockton's.
I played against his dad, Dino, and he was quite the athlete. Good play.
Good play by Stockton, Garrett Stockton. Of course, his brother was a fine player for him last year.
That's right, yep. They're having a big girls tournament over there this week at Twin Rivers. The Lady Royals Classic is kind of the girls' version of this tournament. So Dexter will be the first seed in that one.
They are the first seed. Kennett plays them Monday. Kennett beat Donovan this morning. So
they did. That's a big upset win for Kennett.
Yes.
Kennett's girls have gotten them some wins this year, right?
They're getting better. Their program is getting better.
I work with George New. Aaron is the assistant, and he said they're getting them some wins and kind of getting things turned around and going their way. Hard to start your offense, Terry, from the red line.
Yep.
Yeah. Timeout.
Zane Betts was in the game. It is hard to start it out there, but especially when you got a guy guarding you that's as quick or quicker than you are, and he's bigger than you are. It's a difficult chore. It's a task. And that's one of the problems Van Buren has in this game. It's 29-15 with 5:35 left in the half. Twin Rivers came into the tournament as a 6th seed, and I think they were underseeded, especially, of course, with Kennett being a 3 and did not look good in the first game, and of course had a problem today.
They lost a game in the early going to Kelly, I believe. A little bit, a mild upset. And there again, I don't, not to take anything away from Kelly at all, but Twin Rivers, I think, is just going through some growing pains, trying to figure out where all this fits in and fits together. And they're going to be a force over there in the Ozark Foothills Conference play. And if they could use this as that coming out party, so to speak, this is going to be a good tournament for them.
When you're using that many players,
yes.
You're using 10 players, it's hard to get everything synced early in the season.
It absolutely is. And 8 and 10 of them that are about the same level. They don't.
Right.
They've been subbing pretty frequently, and we've not seen even a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, well, yesterday in the first quarter they subbed 5 and immediately went on a 10-0 run.
Right.
Garrett Stockton is driving, gets fouled. Looks like by is that Newberry? No. Nathan Daisy. That's his 3rd. Nathan Daisy, who's their leading scorer, has not scored this game. Now has 3 fouls. We got 5 minutes left in the first half.
I was just going to ask you, Coach McVeigh, what do? Do you take him out?
I think you got to.
I think you have to in the first half. You got to give yourself a chance.
Right.
See, the Sykeston coaching staff has made their way in. I'm assuming they're coming to watch a little Portageville action next.
Yeah. Well, looks like Coach may be heading out for Coach Hollifield's over there on the sideline. We know him well from our area, the Kennett area. He coached 1 year in Kennett and coached in Zenith.
He actually, it looks like he's told his son to save seats. They're going to.
Oh, okay.
He had come to see Kennett, and Kennett, of course, surprised him a little bit. And he does have Portageville on the schedule, so they're going to play over to Poplar Bluff Showdown this year.
That's what I thought. And that's,
they play a Warren Central, which is out of Kentucky, one of the county schools over there.
And that tournament starts Monday.
Starts Monday, yes.
There's a 3-pointer up by Duncan. It won't go. Zach Payne with the rebound. Sykeston has a fine team again this year.
They do.
There's Garrett Stockton again with the drive. Good aggressive. That's a sophomore. That's just another.
Garrett likes that move. He's put his nose to that very move a couple times.
And he's out guarding Newberry real hard.
It's susceptible to the charge, but they've not been willing to get over in their way just yet. So
that wasn't the most difficult block Zach Payne's ever had yet. 5'8" Betts falling backwards, and Payne didn't have to leave his feet to get that block. It's out of bounds over to Van Buren.
Just a big old impressive out of bounds, but
that'll make him think next time he gets in.
That's right. That's exactly what it does, and reminds him that I'm 6'7" and I'm back here. So
he altered that shot of Burks.
Right.
Here comes Kyle over Kramer, and he'll put it up and in.
Yeah, good timeout. They're fixing to
Van Buren,
let this thing get away from them if they don't stop the bleeding in a hurry.
Yeah, it's a 19-point lead here with 3:42 left in the second quarter. Twin Rivers they're just bigger, stronger, and just a little bit quicker to the ball.
That's it. You summed it up about the problem. The bigger and stronger can sometimes be overcome, but I'm not so sure they're not faster. They've proven to be a little faster, at least on the offensive end so far. They're beating them to layups and easy shots. And they just play hard. And I think a lot of it's because of that big bench we talked about. They've got to get after each other in practice.
Right.
They're bucking for starting and playing time, and
looks like they're going to pick up about 3/4 with a 2-2-1 press.
That's the catch-22 of calling a timeout for someone.
Yep. You set up their defense.
You let them set their defense and chain something on you. And
underneath to Duncan, nice little fake. You can't get it to go. Payne has it knocked out of his hands. It gets over to Randy Moore, who's now in the ground, Twin Rivers. To Stockton, over Kramer, back to Stockton, drives the lane, puts it up.
There's
the charge.
Yeah.
There's. That was taken by Zane Betts. Be Stockton's second foul. Team sixth. Yeah, Zane Betts stood in there well.
He did. He committed to that early, and it was absolutely a run over.
Now, Twin Rivers back in the man-to-man. They're changing their defenses pretty well.
Yep.
A little off. There's Betts. He's going to try it. Nope, he wasn't going to try it again.
Yeah. Those long arms and bodies talked him completely out of it, and he pretty much just threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, when you're looking up into an armpit, you're not going to get a good shot off. Dustin Tinsley back in the game for the Royals. He'll bring the ball up against Duncan. Betts cuts him off. That's a good defensive play by Betts, but it's off of him. And Twin Rivers get the ball back out of bounds. It'll be inbounded by Kramer.
Kind of went off his hip a little bit, but he was fortunate. Dustin shows as a junior.
Yeah, they're going to be good.
Coach Brown's not scared to play deep into that bench like you mentioned earlier.
Tinsley over to Miller, over Kramer underneath.
Good play. He's probably going to finish this one.
And not able to finish. That's out of bounds. Looks like it's off of Van Buren. Good battle for under the boards, but it went off of Burke. Alan Michael Shears that comes in the game for Twin Rivers. He's a 5'11 junior. Miller over back out to Shear. Long three-pointer and can't get it to go.
Alan Michael didn't
but Miller
waste a lot of time wanting to get involved in the offense.
And again, that one thing we were talking about, that ball should have been rebounded with Van Buren, but Twin Rivers was able to get to the ball and knock it off of Van Buren player. There
Shear is going to come in and get some shots.
Yeah. He's just sitting over on the bench warming up his arm.
They just play hard. They're just wanting to mix it up and get after it.
They had they had a blowout win yesterday. It's the first time I'd seen them play yet. And you can have blowout wins where you look good, and you can have blowout wins where you don't look so good. They look good in the blowout win.
I said the same thing. It's sometimes tougher to measure those than a good close one, but they just look good doing it, and they were doing the right things, and they've pretty much carried that on right here.
Well, they stay within their scheme. And there's Shear again, knocks it down.
I'm going to question Coach Brown why he's not in shooting earlier. He's a secret weapon. He's 2 for 3 in about 30 seconds here.
Little instant offense. Now he's out by the red line. That's too far out. Okay, he'll pull it up. He looked at it.
He eyed it up a little bit. He'll shoot it in practice.
Yeah, he's got it. No. Number 50, Cole McBroom now in the game. There's Tinsley pulling up. It was a nice move to the left. That's not an easy shot that Tinsley just made, going to your left and pulling up.
There again, you got to.
Tyler Freeze again.
You got to respect some kids that are going to come in the game and get their licks in because we're about 3-4 deep into the bench here, and they're getting some shots up. See what?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the coach is telling them he has confidence in them.
Absolutely, it does.
And that gives them confidence in themselves, so they're not going to go
not
in
all
there
stuck up when they go in, worried about where you're playing.
With a nice move to the bucket. Sam Simmons creates the foul. Nice pass to the corner. McBroom cuts to the bucket, and he has a chance for a three-pointer.
McBroom, a usual Twin Rivers name.
That's another
that's
name.
been on the roster the past several years.
Yeah, when's the next wave of Lances coming in?
Lances. I actually ran into Mark a couple weeks ago at a Three Rivers game and kind of was teasing him about that. His daughter Mandy is assistant coach for the Jackson Lady Indians, so she's in a good place to get her coaching career started. And of course, Michael's playing down at Arkansas State, new head coach. The Red Wolves, I believe they are, have got them a good season going.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they started off a little bit better than everybody expected.
They certainly have.
They do have their new coach, the former LSU coach. 8.6 seconds. It's been all Twin Rivers. They're up 44-19.
It has. That's a lot of points to try to deal with. We're on a 90-point pace here, and you're going to let Twin Rivers get awful easy and happy if you don't.
Miller underneath McBroom, he can't get it to go, and that's the end of the first half. The score 44-19 in favor of the Twin Rivers Royals over the Van Buren Bulldogs. Twin Rivers has pretty much had it their way this half. You're watching the 52nd Annual Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV. This game is being brought to you by Three Rivers Community College. We'll be back in a minute.
Three Rivers Community College is a great place.
A great place.
A great place to start college.
Why pay university prices?
When the same classes at TRCC cost a lot less.
I can use A+.
I get individual attention.
I'm close to home.
To learn more, go to trcc.edu or call 877-TRY-TRCC.
Get started at TRCC.
Okay, we're back to wrap up the first half. It was just all Twin Rivers. They were just too much for, way too much for Van Buren. They were just bigger, stronger, quicker.
They're faster to the ball. Even the bigger, stronger ones. They're out muscling them, and that's not in a bad way. They're doing it the right way.
Yes, they're doing it the right way. They're just beating them they're beating them in all aspects of the game.
Yeah.
Do a little wrap up of the scoring for Van Buren Bulldogs. Tyler Freeze has been their only bright spot. He has 14 in the first half, and for a team that only has 19, that's a lot. Kyle Burke hit the three-pointer right at the end of the first quarter for his 3 points, and Michael Duncan scored 2. For Twin Rivers, who have 9 people have scored, and they'll probably end up being 12 end up scoring. They did the same thing last night.
In a first half, too. That's pretty impressive.
9 people have scored for them. Kyle Oberkramer has 13. Brett Whitlock 7. 6 for Alan Michael Shear, who came in and just drained 2 threes within a minute. Garrett Stockton has 6. 3 for Ryan Miller, and Zach Payne and Cole McBroom has 2, as does Dustin Tinsley and Matt Boyles. Again, 9 people score for Twin Rivers, and Ryan Miller, okay, I'm trying to think who hasn't scored to play. I guess Mason Oberkramer, and he had a couple of good drives to the bucket.
And Mason's very capable, too.
Yeah, Mason will be scoring some.
Yes,
and that's the only and he and Randy Moore, I believe, are the only ones that have played that haven't scored. They'll score before this night's over with. So just a very balanced team. It's
sometimes, Terry, I think that can haunt you a little bit, but they're figuring it out. I was just talking to Mr. Oberkramer here about that very thing. When they kind of figure out who's their legs and what they're doing right, they're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, they're probably going to, he's probably not going to be playing the two platoons and 10 people all year long. He'll get it down to 7 or 8 that's really going to be in the rotation. But then again, the guys that are, the other 3 or 4 or 5 guys that are on the bench, they have experience with it, and they can come in when they need it. So
I'm going to guess they're having some pretty good practices over there.
I bet they're having some real good practices, because they got 2 squads that are pretty evenly matched, and it's just a good basketball team. I think that I can't think of anything else for the first half. I think we said it all. That Twin Rivers just dominated. I expect that they're going to have a good game tomorrow in the. They'll play the winner of the Richland-Portageville game tomorrow night, and whoever comes out of that game is going to give this team a good. It's going to be a good game, which is, of course, in the semifinals. They ought to be a good game.
It should be, right.
So, we'll be back for the start of the second half in just a minute. You're watching the 52nd Annual Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV. This game is being brought to you by Three Rivers Community College.
Three Rivers Community College is a great place.
A great place. A great place to start career training.
At TRCC, I'm getting training for a good job with a good salary.
Three Rivers has high-tech equipment, great instructors,
and convenient classes. To learn more, go to trcc.edu or call 877-TRY-TRCC.
Get started at TRCC.
Okay, we're back for the start the second half. The game between Twin Rivers and Van Buren. Van Buren will have the ball out of bounds. I'm Terry McVeigh. We're here sitting with Lloyd Rice in the cool confines of the Bloomfield Gymnasium.
They are heat situations are not going to be an issue this week.
No, usually it's real hot in here. This time
they're going to get back.
We need our jackets on. We need the long sleeves and the jackets. Stockton bringing it up over to Zach Payne, who has it out front. To Ryan Miller.
Starting where they left off.
Like everybody looks like the same starters are out as the start of the game for both teams. Whitlock underneath out to Payne, out to Stockton. Whitlock will shoot the three and little off. Rebound by Kyle Burke of Van Buren. Tyler Freeze stop, pop, and hit. Tyler Freeze has been impressive this game. That gives him 16. He's been the offense for Van Buren.
He has, and he's been as good as a lot of them up here all week. Tyler's a good player.
Stockton for three. Good-looking squared-up shot, and he hits it. He has 9 in the game. Freeze drives, puts it up, and puts it in. Tyler Freeze has been impressive. He just drove the lane and was very aggressive. And
that's Van Buren. They did that. They did more of that against Kennett yesterday than they have today so far.
Yeah, and they were by doing that. And there's Newberry with the steal. He'll lay it up and in for his first 2 points. And Van Buren's come out, scored 6 quick points, and we got a timeout. Twin Rivers. Coach Brown has a 22-point lead, but he doesn't like the sloppy play.
And I'm not thinking he's going to like the start of that. You know, you want to have that good start in the second half, and that's not what he had in mind for sure.
And not only for this game. You know, one of the things you always say is that the most important minutes of any close game, especially in the high school game, probably the first 3-4 minutes of the second half. And he wants to have his team ready at all games.
That's exactly
this
right.
This game is well in hand, but he wants to be ready at the next game to have
tomorrow night
ready to come out in the second half.
Be it Portageville or whoever, you don't want to come out after halftime feeling good about things and get away from what you do.
Nathan Daisy guarding Stockton out front. Not sure how that match got played. Miller over the pain from the corner, won't go. Over Kramer to clean it up on the weak side. Won't go, but he'll get it back, put it back, won't go. There's Whitlock to put it in. And again, that's just the strength of Twin Rivers. They had 4 shots at the basket.
Keep it active, keep it alive. If they didn't score, they were eventually going to get fouled, or nothing good is going to come of letting the team have 3-4 shots at it.
Good steal by Whitlock in the corner. He gets it out, and it's knocked out of bounds off of Van Buren. Whitlock will inbound it to Stockton. And Twin Rivers will run their offense. It's like Duncan's getting ready to come in for Van Buren. Backdoor play to Oberkramer, but there's Nathan Daisy with a good defense. Step in the passing lane.
That's fast. That's fast recovery, Stockton.
Yes. There's a good duck under by Tyler Freeze. He's showing some offensive moves. He now has 20. He has 20 of the 27 points of Van Buren.
That guy can go on about any team up here.
Yes. Oberkramer from the free throw line won't go. Rebound Stockton, and he's fouled by Kyle Burke, his second. Stockton will go to the line for shoot 2.
Burke again didn't want to give up anything easy.
No.
Coach?
Stockton's 2 for 3 from the line today. And he makes the first. Makes it a 50-27 game.
That Twin Rivers bunch keeps a statistician busy. A lot
They
of
do.
columns to fill up.
Stockton hits 2. He has 5 in the quarter, and he's in double figures with 11. Tyler Freeze out front, working against Miller. Gets trapped in the corner, gets it out, and back to Freeze. Whitlock put in the strong defense, but Freeze breaks it, gets underneath, and ducks under for another bucket. 22 points for Freeze on the game. It's one of the better individual performances of the tournament. There's Oberkramer to pick up some more garbage.
It's about his fourth or fifth offside rebound.
I should call that garbage.
He's
there in position.
Yep.
I mean, it's by design that he's where he is, and he's strong enough to get the ball and put it back. Freeze gets fouled by Miller coming into the lane. It'll be his team second. Van Buren had the ball under their bucket. It'll be thrown in by Kyle Burke. Burke to Freeze. He'll shoot a jumper from the corner, and he's going to go to the line. Foul on Stockton.
That's a new emphasis. That's a video textbook play of protecting the shooter all the way up and down, Terry. It's that shot's not over until that player comes back to the floor, and that's a point of emphasis to take care of that.
I think I said that foul's on Stockton. It's on Kyle Oberkramer.
Right. Kyle, momentum kind of carried him out and into him.
Tyler Freeze gets his 11th point of the quarter. 25th of the game. And he picks Stockton's pocket. He's going to drive on him, pull up, and draw the foul on Stockton.
Tell you what, in a different score situation, you just about have to employ some junk defense on Freeze.
Right.
Run about 2 and 3 people at him just to.
You'd probably be boxing one if this wasn't a 20-point game. You'd
exactly.
probably be doing some boxing ones.
Don't want to deal too much with individual stats in a game with that spread, but
Freeze is perfect, 3 for 3 from the line. He now has 26 points. Randy Moore back in the game for Twin Rivers, replacing Stockton. Mason Oberkramer on the give and go, look for it from Payne. Gets it back out front, into Payne in the lane. Whitlock from the key, won't get it to go. Nathan Daisy back to Freeze. Nathan Daisy with the rebound in the corner. Freeze will be guarded by Mason Oberkramer.
Coach Brown leaving it to Mason to maybe put the clamps on him some.
Whitlock guarding Duncan out front. Oberkramer comes over to help, and that gives Freeze to the free throw line and can't get it to go. Rebound by Payne. Payne altered that shot a little bit. Nice hustle by Duncan. He knocks it out of bounds. Pass intended for Whitlock. Whitlock will inbound it for Twin Rivers on the sideline. Sledge Crawley back in the grain. He'll replace Tyler Freeze. Just give him a little bit of a breather.
Get him some Gatorade, and he'd be right back in real soon.
Mason Oberkramer working against Newberry. Payne at the free throw line, turns and spins, can't get it to go. Good hustle by Randy Moore in the corner, but it's going to be off of Duncan. That was pure hustle by Randy Moore.
It was, and no matter what happened, justice was served there because he ran from 25 feet away, the only one making an attempt.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
In the Payne at the Mason Oberkramer, over to his brother. Payne turnaround jumper, can't get it to go. There's Oberkramer.
Good rebound.
Good strong rebound. That was a very difficult rebound to make without fouling anybody. He didn't foul him. I mean,
he kind of jumped up and over the top of him.
He just went over the top of him and reached over him. He did not foul him. He wasn't over their back. He'll go to the line. That'd be a foul on Nathan Daisy. That's his fourth.
That's not the number he needed called, but.
And Oberkramer makes his first.
That's straight out a result of just kind of outworking and staying and kind of digging in and going after it.
Right.
In a 20-point game in the third quarter, it's easy to put it neutral and coast. And
I don't think Twin Rivers has a coast in their.
I'm not seeing it if they do.
In their drivetrain. Newberry out front. There's Oberkramer going over the back. We're going to call the foul on Kyle Oberkramer. No.
Mason had
Oberkramer.
That was a little bit off ball. It was in the same vicinity, but Mason was trying to push through a little bit of a screen that didn't.
Duncan from the corner for three. It's short, and good rebound by Kennedy. He moves, tries to get it to Newberry. Kicked out of bounds by Whitlock. It'll go back to Van Buren. They'll inbound underneath their own basket. Be kicked in by Kyle Burke. Underneath Kennedy, and it won't go. Or that's Crowley, I'm sorry. He was fouled, I believe, by Whitlock. That'll be Whitlock's third. Sledge Crawley trying to get his first points of the game, and misses the first. He'll have another one coming. Matt Boyle's in the game for Twin Rivers.
I keep looking for Alan Michael Shear to
have him come back in. He's played a minute and scored 6 points.
I'm liking my chances with him and some offense.
Mason Oberkramer to Payne. Lost by Ryan Moore, but then there's Kyle Oberkramer knocking it out of bounds. Good hustle.
Kyle tried to talk him into that one being off black too.
Yep.
But
Kyle Burke for Van Buren gets it in. Duncan has it in the backcourt. He's being pressured by Oberkramer. They break the press, but then Mason Oberkramer steals it. Duncan steals it right back. He gets tied up on the baseline. Back over the Mason or Duncan for the three-pointer. Won't go. And looks like we're going to have a foul. Rebound by Corey Kennedy. Put it back up. Couldn't get it to go. He'll go to the line for two. He's fouled by Matt Boyles. First one's off. Tyler Freeze back in the game. He's had enough rest.
I would dare to say most of Van Buren fans agree with that too.
Yeah. Kennedy makes the second, his first points of the game. It's a 20-point game with 1:43 left. Another steal by Van Buren.
Yeah, feeding the 6'7" post man at his ankles is not.
No, it's hard for those guys to get down. Tyler Freeze puts it up for three. And there's Payne with the rebound. Out to Oberkramer. Over to Tinsley. Into the corner. Looks like a blocking foul on Tyler Freeze. Be his second. Team third. Matt Boyles will trigger it inbounds underneath the Twin Rivers basket. Gets it into Tinsley, back to Boyles. Turnaround jumper, it won't go, it's short. Ball on the floor, Newberry and Tinsley, I believe, fighting for it. Jump ball situation, or alternate possession, as you now say.
They're not going to let many balls get on the floor without being a part of it.
Matt Boyles triggers it in again. Into the corner for Tinsley. Tinsley looks at the three, pulls up, takes it out front, drives to the free throw line, back out to Tinsley on the wing. There's nice looking jumper by Matt Boyles, three from the.
He's got all these 3-point shooters on the bench.
Yeah.
Terry, he just brings them in.
Boyles is now has the job of stopping freeze. There's nice. Probably should have taken that shot by Kennedy. Made one pass too many because there were still 3 guys under there. But again, that might have been the Zach Payne influence. Zach Payne was standing there, and he had to take the shot over the 6'7" guy.
He's had to take it a couple times already, and it didn't work out so good. So
Boyles again for a 3. We got a foul. Going to be on. It's on the rebound.
I think that's going to be on number 10.
That would be Randy Moore, his first. I think that's going to send Michael Duncan to the line for a 1-on-1. Duncan has 2 points in the game.
Kind of frogged him in the hip or something there. I'm not sure exactly how they got tied up, but.
Yeah, he didn't run down that free throw line. Nice looking free throw. Makes it a 58-36 game. And here comes Alan Michael Shear into the game. 20 seconds left. He's got room for another 6 points.
He's at least going to get a shot off.
I'd count on it. Tinsley will bring the ball up. Van Buren's going to pressure, just to try to slow the progress. Tinsley gets it over in the corner of the Boyles. They're looking for Shear. He's looking for the ball. And throws it away. 5 seconds left. Van Buren has the ball, and Freeze has it, puts up a 3, and it's short. So at the end of the third quarter, it's Twin Rivers 58, Van Buren 37. Lloyd Van Buren played with them pretty well that
good quarter for them. Yeah, they didn't. There again, a tribute to them. They will not come out and lay down on it and let you go away.
Well, they outscored Twin Rivers 18-14 in that quarter, and that wasn't against Twin Rivers' third team either. That was against Twin Rivers starters. So Van Buren came out and scrapped, and of course, having Tyler Freeze score 13 points in the quarter doesn't hurt. He was making some very nice shots. And he was making some nice shots, but they weren't lucky shots.
Individual-wise, he's going to be about as good an individual player as up here, offensive-wise.
I think so. I think he had 8 last night.
Three Rivers Community College is a great place.
A great place.
A great place to start college. Why pay university prices?
When the same classes at TRCC cost a lot less.
I can use A+. I get individual attention.
I'm close to home.
To learn more, go to trcc.edu or call 877-TRY-TRCC.
Get started at TRCC.
We're back for the fourth quarter. Van Buren's kind of tightened this game up a little bit. It looked like it was going to be one of those 30-point games, Lloyd, but Van Buren's just not going to give up.
That's typical Van Buren over here, Terry. They're going to scrap and claw and mess with you, and you know, next round, no matter where they land, they're just as content on any side of the bracket or any game that they're in.
Tyler Freeze getting to the line.
That's 2.
Tyler Freeze, I believe, has 29 points in the game. And they've got it down to 19 points. Boyles down to Zach Payne. He's going to turn around, and that's a nice move for Zach Payne. He needs.
That's a nice play. Exactly what he needs to do if you got a 6-foot guy guarding you from behind.
You get him down on the blocks and just let him turn around and make that layup. Newberry out front. He's going to get it over to Betts. Betts looking for Sam Simmons. Oh, little elbowing going on by Kennedy.
That's not going to hurt.
That's not hurt Boyles.
It did hurt Overkramer one little bit. He's fine with that.
Break out to Tinsley, and we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
He tried to make a good hard foul, and I don't think Tinsley moved.
He's not fazed by that at all.
No.
I tell you what, the Twin Rivers wrestling team bound to be having a good season over there. Those kids are put together.
Corey Kennedy with the foul. They have him for 4. That's the team's 4th. Dustin Tinsley has 4 points in the game. Go to the line to get his 5th. Extend their 23-point lead a little bit by 1. 6:30 left in the game.
Have you noticed they've moved the rebounders up on the second spot, Terry?
Yes.
Hoping to allow for some more, a better block out situation, so to speak. I do wish they'd let them go back to the style where you could go on the release.
Yes.
And let those players get in there, because it becomes a little bit of a lunge. Because by the time that ball hits the rim, you're pretty much just lunging for the ball, and I think you could do about anything you want when you've got kids just lunging and reaching. It's not necessarily going to be a clean situation.
And in this tournament, I've seen a lot of second position rebounds.
Coach Hall and I talked about it earlier. I'm not so sure that it doesn't make it as big advantage of ever to get an offensive rebound.
I think it lets the guy in the second position have a little bit better chance of going behind the guy in the first position.
Definitely more room to maneuver, because you're 8 to 10 feet away, and the guy, he just doesn't have time to go in and block you out.
It's harder for him to keep his hip on you. I'm not so sure that rule's going to have the desired effect. Boyles in the corner.
That's a good run.
Little hook shot, nice, and it's like a foul on. Looks like Boyles had the foul. Thought Freeze got off to a running start, but that'll be Boyles' second. Team 8, Freeze will go to the line for a 1-on-1.
Freeze will take free throws too. He seems to be pretty comfortable at.
He hadn't missed one yet. He's 4 for 4. 5 for 5. Very impressive offensive performance by Tyler Freeze.
And they have ran several defenders at him.
They've tried 3 or 4 different defenders.
They've thrown the one thing that they haven't done, and you and I talked about it, is they haven't went to some kind of junk.
Right, they haven't boxed one
or anything. It's pretty much been a straight up, we're going to.
Duncan pulls up, and he gets another 2. There's Newberry, give him Tinsley some pressure in the backcourt. Didn't slow Tinsley down any. Out to McBroom. Underneath the Miller, nice turnaround.
Good looking shot.
Sure
Miller's
was.
capable of double figure scoring quite easily. They've not necessarily needed it tonight because they're getting it from all angles. But
nice little turnaround by Sam Simmons, scores his first 2 for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are still pressuring. 5 minutes left in the game. 20-point lead for Twin Rivers. Miller.
He traveled with it.
Yep. Did a little shuffle before he made his move.
Ryan's Uncle Lee Jones is one of the officials earlier here tonight. I'm sure
Didn't know that was his uncle.
Uncle Lee sitting over there taking notes, ready to scold him. Lee was a good player over at Twin River, at Twin Rivers.
Yeah, I knew Lee was from the Hewlin area, but I didn't know he had a nephew on the team. He's been a good official for several years. Twin Rivers will be bringing the ball up the court. To be Stockton back in the game. He's going to be pressured by Zane Betts. Boyle's on the free throw line, gets it out to Miller. Miller's going to drive the lane, kick it out to McBroom. McBroom to Whitlock. Stockton drives the lane. He saw the little opening, and boy, he really cut in there.
That's his gap. He's hit that same gap about 2 or 3 times.
That was really nice on our angle up here. We saw the gap open the same time
I saw
he
the same one he did. And,
yeah, that was kind of fun to watch.
Most people are not going to stick their nose through that, and
No.
he is. Tell you what, I keep harping on it, but these guys just kind of keep going to the wall. They're going to keep coming. I think it is. It's attributed to having a lot of players, a deep bench, and fighting for that playing time.
Zane Betts misses the first of a 1-on-1. That foul was on Whitlock, his fourth. He goes to the bench. Down to Brian Miller. He's going to score. Nope. Nathan Daisy, that ought to be it for him. That'll be his fifth.
Daisy has just not been able to get.
I'm trying to remember a shot he's gotten off.
And I know he's capable, and just about every 30-second period he's been in, he's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, I don't think he hasn't. They've been able to keep him completely out of the offense.
One of the few players in foul trouble for Van Buren, I'm sure.
Yeah, they only have 5 fouls this half. He's been in foul trouble since the first quarter. Miller hits them both. He now has 7 in the game. Here's Tyler Freeze bringing it up with 4 minutes left. 24-point game.
Ryan Miller switched over to guard him.
Betts, it won't go. Out to McBroom. Good try, but still by Freeze. Van Buren thought he bounced it off the Twin Rivers player and out of bounds, but
it had a funny look to it, but
it's hard to tell.
It is. There again, I think
the official was in the position to see the play, and that's all you can ask, that that he puts himself in the right position to see the play. He had a whole lot better view of it than we did. Got a foul underneath. Oberkramer gets the rebound. Looks like the foul's going to be on Kyle Oberkramer. One of the things you always ask, that you ask for the official, besides being consistent, is that they put themselves in the position to see the play.
And especially in a 3-man crew and in a 3-man rotation, there's really no reason not to be. It's kind of like when they went to the 5-man football crew. That extra body, that extra set of eyes, it takes the guesswork out of it, and you just ought to be in the right place.
2 nice free throws by Kennedy. He's 3 for 4 from the line, or all 3 of his points. It's 22-point lead for Twin Rivers with 3:25 left in the game. There's Tyler Freeze again going for the steal, knocks it out of bounds. Twin Rivers will inbound on the sideline. Again, Van Buren just keeps scrapping.
They have not went away.
Matt Boyles with a nice turnaround, taking advantage of his size. He has 7 in the game. Tyler Freeze being guarded by Ryan Miller out front. Newberry out to Betts. It's like number 44 from Van Buren kind of took McBroom out of the lane.
He tried to some sort of screen, and
that'll be his 3rd. Got a wholesale substitutions, but again, it's a lot of the players that get a lot of playing time. It's none of them are starters, but a couple of guys making their first. Nate Alford and Jerry Aldrich making their first appearance. There's Mason Oberkramer in the corner.
Mason's quick.
Very quick. There's Shearer for 3. It won't go. He gets his own rebound, but he has to go through Kennedy to get it. So Shearer with his first foul. Send Kennedy to the line. He'll shoot 2 again. 2:43 left. It's a 71-47 lead for Twin Rivers. They're going to play tomorrow, and they'll play the winner of the Richland-Portageville game. Van Buren will play the loser of that game tomorrow afternoon at 5:30.
That Richland-Portageville game is going to be a rematch of one played earlier in the year.
I saw that game, and Portageville won by 20, by right around 20, but it was in Portageville.
Portageville's got a good bunch, a good mix for Coach Bidwell. He likes the makeup of what he's got going, and they've went to Class 2 as far as within district and state play. So.
And one of the things that's kind of scary is, especially in the last few years, Portageville's not good early in the year.
We had that same conversation in the hospitality room. This is by no means a typical Portageville time of year.
Yeah.
Although they have had teams that have definitely been good.
They've had undefeated teams, but the last 10 years or so, usually the first of the year, they're not all that impressive, but they sure are now. Tinsley will bring the ball. It's a 20-point game with 2:28 left in the game. Down the line for the shot up by Alford. It won't go. Kennedy with the rebound out to Duncan.
Saw several hands go up. Alford must be a fan favorite. Burke
was way through.
Feeling it.
There's Randy Moore with the rebound out to Shearer, and here Tinsley will bring it up. Alford with the ball. Out front to Shearer.
He's in range.
Yeah, he's in range, but he does have a body on him. Kennedy's playing hard defense. Tinsley over to Shearer. He's got to back up a little bit to get in range. He's a little too close.
Coach Brown's told him to turn it over some, so
yeah.
Not literally turn it over, although that was the result.
Nice move to the bucket by Zane Betts. He has 5 in this quarter. 18-point lead with 1 minute and a half left in the game. Twin Rivers still going to run their offense. Shearer out to Alford. He'll put the 3 up, and it's almost good. I thought it was going to go in. Rebound to Kyle Burke.
Gosh.
And looks like the foul is going to be on Alford. And the only guy on the floor that Alford's bigger than, he runs over Newberry.
Good choice.
Yeah,
smart kid.
Yeah, smart kid. He picked the right guy to run over. Newberry go to the line for 2. He has 2 in the game. Makes the first. And he makes the second. 16-point lead with a little over a minute left. Van Buren still pressuring. There's more to the line. Newberry, the smallest guy out there with the rebound. He gets it out to Betts. On the pass, just a little too low. Kennedy was running and passed down around his shins.
He was open and he was cutting and everything was going to line up right.
Everything was right. The pass just wasn't there.
Off his knees.
Betts is still going to pressure Tinsley.
Tell you what, a lot of respect for that Van Buren bunch.
Sure, that's 25
where did they go?
Game.
They did not go away quietly.
Tinsley underneath can't get to go. He'll shoot 2. Didn't go quietly at all. They've won this second half. They were down by 25 at halftime. I thought we were going to have a 30-point running clock. In the
all
fourth
indications of one, and Van Buren decided against that.
Tinsley makes his free throw. Simmons and Sledge Crawley back in the game. Crawley back in the game for Van Buren. Tinsley has 6 points in the game, and Kent rolled in his 7th. Duncan will bring it up the court. Underneath Kennedy. That was a good pass.
Good pass. Good play.
Good play.
Look what
Kennedy
this final
scores
score is
2.
going to end up as, Terry. I mean, we're back at 15
It's
now.
a 15-point game with 20 seconds left. And because Van Buren just never would go away. Foul out front. I think that's on Sam Simmons. No, that's on Sledge Crawley. Be his first. It's going to send Randy Moore to the line, try to get his first 2 points of the game. He'll shoot 1-of-1. And it won't go. But he's there getting the steal. He still wants to get his points.
Still looking to get his name in the
Yeah.
scorebook.
Another good fast break. Kennedy take it up front, but Shearer interrupted. 12 seconds left. Van Buren will have it out of bounds underneath their bucket. They just got to get somebody to go take it out of bounds. Zane Betts will do the honors. They'll trigger it in to Duncan. He'll shoot a 3. And it's just off the mark. Sam Simmons turnaround jumper with a nice move. And it's a 13. Looks like that's how it's going to end, a 13-point game. The final score is the 6th-seeded Twin Rivers Royals, 72. The 14th seed Van Buren Bulldogs, a very scrappy Bulldog. That's a good nickname they have, Bulldogs.
It definitely is.
Just 59. That was it's 25-point game at halftime. Van Buren just kept coming and kept coming. You never really thought the game was in jeopardy. It never was in jeopardy in the second half. But
it never felt like it. But it was never went and laid down or went away.
I give a lot of credit to Van Buren. We say it every year. Every year they come over here.
That's right.
And we think they're going to be 2-and-out, and all of a sudden they're playing on the 4th day. So we'll be back for the wrap-up in just a minute. Okay, we're back for the wrap-up of the game between the Van Buren Bulldogs and Twin Rivers Royals, which Twin Rivers won 72-59. Lloyd, what are your thoughts about the game?
Well, just a whole lot of Twin Rivers. We had talked about it earlier. You can look good and look bad in lopsided wins, and at least for 3 of the 4 quarters, they just looked really solid. Looked like one of the teams up here to beat, maybe even. They came out, they pressured hard, they pushed them back to that red line several times defensively, and just to me looked really, really good for them.
Then Van Buren just kept hanging around, got it back to a 13-point game, but it was never in
right.
It was never in jeopardy. It was never in question as to who was going to win. But to give Van Buren some credit,
typical of them.
Sure is.
Just go ahead and mark that down, and when they come back next year, it'll be more of the same.
Okay, here's the final scoring for the Van Buren Bulldogs. They were led by Tyler Freeze with 31 points. He scored 31 of the 59 points. And they weren't easy shots because Twin Rivers was defending him. They tried about 3 or 4 different defenders on him.
Legitimately had their 3, 4, and 5th best defenders, every one on the floor. So that's a hard-earned 31.
And it was again 31 points, and that's probably, I don't know if that's the biggest individual total of the tournament, but it's one of them. 6 points from Michael Duncan and Corey Kennedy. 5 from Zane Betts, all in the 4th quarter. 4 points from Daniel Newberry and Sam Simmons. 3 points from Kyle Burke. Van Buren was good at the line. There were 15-20 from the line. Most of those, 14 of 19 of that was all in the second half. When they got a little bit more aggressive and were able to go to the bucket a little bit more. For the Twin Rivers Royals, they again had 9 people in the scoring column. They were led by Kyle Oberkramer, their fine senior forward, with 17. Garrett Stockton, their fine sophomore guard, had 13. 9 for Brett Whitlock. 7 for Matt Boyles, Brian Miller. 5 for Zach Payne. 6 for Dustin Tinsley and Alan Michael Shear, who had 2 threes. And 2 for Cole McBroom for their 72 points.
Just well balanced. I mean, my goodness, you've got 9, 10 guys in the scoring column with your high score 17 and a 70-something point game. That's a good deep squad that's not afraid to put it up.
Yeah, and last night they had 70-something points, and they may have had 1 or 2 guys in double figures.
Right.
They had 10 or 12 guys in the scoring books, and they're going to do that. That's their team, and that's what they're going to do. And they're going to win a lot of games and whoever they play tomorrow night is going to have their hands full.
It is. Payne established himself early, and then kind of throughout the game he was always there. He was probably responsible for Van Buren missing at least 3, 4, maybe even a dozen, shots that we could kind of sit here and watch and attest to. So maybe didn't get in the scoring column that way, but definitely a factor.
He's added the dimension to their team that they didn't have before he got on the team.
Kyle over there able to sit over there on the other block and make a living with putbacks and rebounds and getting in good position because of it.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of Oberkramer's points in this game were from weak side rebounds. So that will wrap it up here. I'm Terry McVeigh, and for Lloyd Rice, we hope you've enjoyed this game. You've been watching the 52nd annual Bloomfield Christmas Tournament, and brought to you on the YHC TV. This game has been brought to you by Three Rivers Community College. Thank you for watching.
Coaches Interviews brought to you by Charlie Flanagan, Edward Jones Financial Advisor in Dexter, and Missouri State Representative Rob Mayer of the 25th District, and Missouri Southern Healthcare, located in Dexter.
Hi, I'm Charlie Flanagan with Edward Jones Investments, and I'm visiting with Robert Brown, the head basketball coach of Twin River Royals. I messed that up last night.
Yeah. Well, at least we're
well, congratulations, Coach. Just off of a 13-point victory against Van Buren. Was this kind of indicative of the type of game that you thought?
Yes, I knew they wouldn't go away. I thought we came out and kind of picked up where we left off last night. I thought our defense was pretty good. I thought our intensity and our effort was right where it needed to be. But I also knew that as we built the lead, I knew Van Buren wasn't going to go away or cash it in or quit playing. They just kept coming at you.
Well, we talked about this off camera, and I said I'd ask you about it. But talking with coaches last night, nobody really wanted to play Van Buren.
I wasn't too thrilled to play them either, but they're just the kind of team that scares you. They don't have a lot of size, but not a lot of bulk or strength. But they got kids who are tougher than nails. They're not intimidated by anything, and they just keep coming at you. Number 20, I'm not sure of the kid's name, but he was relentless there in the second half. He scored probably 12, 14 points straight just on his own effort.
Yeah, and they didn't seem to change emotion or didn't seem to change what they were going to do based on the score. They were just going to run their stuff, and if you can stop them, great. If
they're
not,
well coached and fundamentally sound. They got a lot of heart, so I tip my hats to them. They're a tough team.
Well, it's good to see that you came out on top. You're right where you want to be. Now, tomorrow night, unless there's a big upset in the game that's going on now, you get Portageville. What do you know about them?
We played Portageville about 10 days ago, right before the Christmas break at TRCC. It was the score. The game was a lot closer. It's 42-40 going into the fourth quarter. We were down 2, and the fourth quarter we just fell apart. And there was a good reason we did. They took it to us there in the fourth quarter. They're well coached. Coach Bidwell's one of the best coaches around. So if Portageville wins, you're going to have your hands full.
Yep. Now, I thought tonight, and looking at the size of the Portageville kids, I think you're going to be a little bit bigger than them, and not just height-wise, but physically.
We got some strong kids. We take a lot of pride in our weight room and our work ethic there. But even though we might have a little strength and size, they definitely got the quickness. And probably got some better shooters than we have. And definitely probably better coached.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but we really look forward to seeing you. And this will be Monday night,
yes, sir.
Because tomorrow's Sunday and we're going to take the day off. So congratulations and good luck against probably Portageville
we don't want
on
to
Monday.
change Richmond. Thank you.
Coaches Interviews brought to you by Charlie Flanagan, Edward Jones Financial Advisor in Dexter, and Missouri State Representative Rob Mayer of the 25th District, and Missouri Southern Healthcare, located in Dexter.